So if you clicked on this video, you may be planning your vacation to go to Greece, or you just may want to visit Greece one day. And I decided to make this video as kind of like my experience of traveling to Greece, my tips and everything that we did on our vacation. And I'm also going to include a lot of vlog footage, videos, pictures from our trip. So it's not just going to be me here sitting down and telling you everything we did. You will see a lot of vlog footage from our trip. We traveled to Greece in 2022, summer of 2022, and August to be specific. Usually the big traveling months are like August and September because the weather is really nice, and those are usually the more touristy months from what I know. So we went for quite a long time, but only because my husband's family lives there, and in a sense I was really lucky because I was traveling with somebody who is from Greece, who speaks the language and who knows a lot about it. I was definitely headache free when it comes to that aspect, like understanding, speaking, and things like that. So I feel really lucky for that. So we went on our vacation and we started with going to two islands. First we went to Santorini, then we went to an island called Milos, and then we went to Athens and stayed in Athens. Also, I highly recommend staying in at least two different islands. Don't just travel to one. It's very easy to take a ferry from one island to another. That way you get to see more places on your vacation. So as I said, we went to Santorini and we only stayed there for 2 nights. Now when booking this, I was like, oh my god, only 2 nights? I want to be in Santorini for longer, and I was like so bummed at first. But I'm honestly so happy it was only 2 nights, because if it was any longer, I would be so bored there. When traveling to Santorini, and I think it could be the same thing with Mykonos, but I've never been there, you really don't need more than 2 to 3 nights in those locations, just because there really isn't much to do once you see everything. So if you do a couple of tours, and if you go and see the Santorini sunset, after that, that's really it. There's not really too much water where you could like swim and things like that nearby. It depends on where you stay. You could potentially go to a beach by taking like a bus or something like that. But where we stayed, we actually did not stay in the center. The center of Santorini is Ia, I believe is how you pronounce it. That's where you see the Santorini sunset. We stayed about, I think, 15 to 20 minutes away from the center in a little area called Fira, and we took the bus actually to Ia to go and see the Santorini sunset. It was super easy. The bus was actually like, I think $1 or $2 or $2 or $3, $1 or €2, and we just took the bus and went to see the Santorini sunset, and it was so beautiful. However, of course, there were so many people. I literally did a TikTok where I was like, expectation versus reality of seeing the Santorini sunset, because of how many people there were, and you really had to like get a spot to see it. And then once the sun set, everybody started walking back, and it was just so many people. And you can imagine the streets are like this, so when you're walking, you're literally like next to so many people trying to just get out of there. And yeah, so if you do book a trip and going to stay in Santorini, I highly recommend booking something with a pool, or making sure you're basically near some kind of body of water so you can have easy access to go and swim and relax, because we didn't have that in Fira where we stayed. We only had like a jacuzzi which we used at night, but we really couldn't swim or do anything in Santorini. We would literally just have to take like a bus or something to go there, but it's not very convenient obviously. But we stayed there because we wanted to see some family that he had there. But overall, I was super happy with our 2-night stay there, because we got to see 2 different parts easily. We got to see Santorini and Fira, and we went out in Santorini also. And that was really fun. The nightclubs are there open super late. It's a very lively island, and you can definitely plan on going out there and things like that. I will also say the one thing I wish I did differently is, if you are a girl and you're watching this video, one advice I have for you is don't pack heels, because no one told me that, and I packed I think like 3 pairs of heels, and I literally wore 1 pair 1 time in my 3-week vacation. literally wore one pair one time, and even still that night I literally took them off and put my regular like slides on. It is impossible to wear heels in Greece. I feel like just because of all of the hills, you're constantly going uphill and the cobblestones and going downhill, and it's just a lot. And I even saw like a funny TikTok of like a girls like holding hands like going down a hill on like cobblestone in Greece. It's so funny, but it is so true. Next time I'm going, I'm literally not going to bring any heels, maybe possibly one pair, but that is my biggest advice: do not bring any heels. And I will tell you this, I wore literally one pair of shoes the most. It was my Nike Air Forces. Those white sneakers is what I wore literally the entire time I was there, with dresses, with shorts, with anything. I wore those Nikes, and that was like my most worn pair of shoes. And then I also brought like slides with me and things like that. So after our stay in Santorini, we took the ferry to go to an island called Milos.
Guys, day 2 of me being a horrible vlogger. We are leaving Santorini to go to a different island that supposedly has really nice waters, right? You can swim, because you basically like can't swim in Santorini, which I didn't know. Okay, you can, but there's very like little beaches, and we weren't staying near a beach, and the beaches are black because of the volcanoes. And yeah, this is the line for the boat. We had to basically take a bus to go down to the port to be able to get on a boat, to then take the boat to Milos. The boat ride is about like 2 hours, I think. So yeah, so now everybody's waiting in the shade, thankfully, but yeah, it's really, really hot. Everybody's sweating, everybody's uncomfortable and not happy. And we got a coffee and our stuff, and now we just wait.
From what I understand and from what I know, this island is most known for its beautiful waters, and it has a lot of history and also really, really good food. So in Santorini, I forgot to mention, I booked through Expedia. We stayed at like a little Airbnb type-ish place. It was like not really like a hotel, but like kind of like an inn. I'll include pictures and videos and things like that.
Hey guys, we just made it to Santorini finally. It was kind of crazy because we kind of got lost on our way here. So I'm gonna do a quick little room tour. I'm gonna start with the bathroom, very like cave-like and wicked echoey. And then you come in here and this is what you see. Cute little kitchen, living room. And you can go outside from the living room. Room also connected to here. Then you basically can get outside, and if you go up the little stairs, you have a private little jacuzzi here with a little bit of a view, which is like super cute. So yeah, and we're staying at Valerie Suites. I'll put the information down below. Now just time to finally try to enjoy this vacation now that we're here.
So I booked that through Expedia, and then for Milos, I booked it through an Airbnb, and I can also include the exact one that we booked. We had a little room. It was literally basically like a room and a bathroom and a small kitchen area, and it was right on the water. So as soon as you open the doors and walk out, you literally see the ocean right in front of you.
Hello guys, so I literally haven't vlogged. I completely kind of forgot, and it was my first time in Greece, and I was a little bit kind of overwhelmed, I think, with everything going on. So we were in Santorini, and right now we're at our second location. It's an island called Milos. I guess it has one of the best like waters that you like will ever see, like to swim in, and like lots of really amazing beaches. So I wanted to show you a little tour of an Airbnb that we got and kind of show you around. It's very secluded, very like private little area. There's no service in here. However, if you go outside, you get a little bit of service. So I'll show you the outside first, and then we'll do a little room tour of the Airbnb. And I'll also leave all the information down below for like where I booked it and everything. And the name of the beach is hippopotamus. I'm gonna show you guys. So when I tell you we are literally on the beach, we're literally on the beach. Like our bed is like right here. So you get out and this is the view you get. It's so freaking like unbelievable. I don't know if you can hear me. And I'm gonna show you, this is our area, like where you can sit. You get like these beach chairs that are also ours. This is what it looks like. And there's nothing here. No food nearby, no stores nearby. You need to like get a car or rent a car to go up the mountains and everything to like get anywhere basically. So we're renting a car because we didn't expect this. There's like one little bar there and like some food I think. We still didn't find out. And then some beach chairs for everybody. So it's literally all Airbnbs here. The beach and then all Airbnbs here. And then we are right here. So I'll show you the inside. So basically when you walk in, the first thing you see is the bed. A little table here. You have AC, TV, which the internet is not working. We're trying to figure this out right now. Light switches over there. So it's like super tiny. It's literally like a studio. 2 little shelves, a mirror. Here's me. And then this here, you have some utensils. Cute. A little area here. And then this is literally like the kitchen. Sink, a 2 stovetop, some coffee machine, and then the bathroom. It's so cave-like. I know you guys, I'm tall. I'm like 5'10", 5'11", and the ceiling, like I'm touching the ceiling like almost with my head. It's like a cave kind of. Sink, here's the shower. It's like so little. If you can see, bathroom, some towels and everything. And literally when you go this way, this is what you see. And then you are literally outside. And that is it. That's like the mini little room tour. So we'll be staying here. The car should be here in about an hour. We're so hungry. Yes. Oh, another one. So hungry, we're waiting for the car still, so we can go up to the center and get some food. I'm chilling with the cats. Of course I made some friends and gave them water because I love pets. Oh my gosh, he found more.
There were so many cats, you guys. So many cats in that island. And of course, I fed all of them. I gave them all water and stuff like that. They were so cute and I felt so bad. That's one thing you're gonna see in Greece is a lot of cats. So I definitely have to say I enjoyed my stay in Milos a lot more. It was very relaxing. We were right on the water. The water was beautiful. We also did a boat tour, which I highly recommend doing some sort of tours if you're traveling anywhere on the islands. That way you just get to see more than you would see on your own. I will also say the Airbnb where we stayed, we had to rent a car because there was no other way for us to get up to the center, which was about 8 minutes or so away, like 8 to 10 minutes. But the thing is, you had to walk up a really steep and big hill and then like go up and walk to the center. It would take like 30 minutes to an hour to walk to the center. So we had to have a car to get dinner and like get food. So we rented a car. It was super easy to do because the Airbnb host made sure that we were able to do that and kind of organized everything for us and helped us with everything. So they brought the car for us that same night. It's also really convenient to book through an Airbnb because they were able to also provide us with a taxi. So the shuttle brought us from the boat to the location, to our little Airbnb in Milos. So once we rented the car, we had to go up to the center and get dinner that night, and that was really, really great. So food is incredible, you guys. I love Greek food.
How cute. They gave you olive oil. This is the first time they give you like that. Bread and bottled water. We got some octopus and vinegar. It looks gross, but it's so good. Some fish over there. Also grilled little fishies, vegetables, and wine.
So much. It is so fresh. It's so delicious. And it's especially good on the islands. I loved eating in Greece. I definitely did not stop myself one bit. I ate anything and everything, and I was so excited every time we would go and get food. I will say in that area in Milos where we stayed, it was a little bit scary driving because we were driving kind of on like because you're going up the hill, you were driving on a road that didn't have like, what are those called, like the borders, so the car doesn't like fall off, you know. So you're driving in really like steep hill, and then you're driving in these like curves and circles and sharp turns, and I was terrified that the car was gonna like fall down the hill, and I literally couldn't look when we were driving. I had to like go like this or like close my eyes, and I would just have like an anxiety attack every time we drove up, so that was a little bit stressful. That is just something to keep in mind when you're booking an Airbnb or like a hotel or whatever it is. Just make sure and check how far away are you from the center. Will you need transportation? Can you walk? Because that's something we didn't think about it, and thank God he had his license there so he could rent a car. I mean, I think I could too with like the American license, but that's besides the point. It was just something we didn't expect, so it is definitely good to know on that. So in Milos, we did a boat tour, which was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I actually went snorkeling for the first time in my life in a life jacket because I can't swim. And that was actually so amazing, and I'm so happy I pushed myself to do that because I almost didn't because I was a little bit scared, but I'm so happy I did. And we had a nice little group of people on our boat. And again, I booked the boat tour through Airbnb while I was checking out to book our room. So that was really great. Definitely bring some cash with you. I mean, it's the only thing that you probably will be using when you're there, is just to make sure that you always have cash on you, and because that's what you're going to use to pay for almost anything. But overall, I am just so happy we did 2 islands because, as I said, you get to experience a little bit more. And the next time we travel this year to Greece, we're going to hopefully book also 2 islands, just making sure we can take that ferry to the island, to the next island. And I will say another thing, definitely if you feel like you may get car sick or seasick, definitely bring some medicine, because that is one thing I didn't think about. I never got seasick in my life from the small experiences I've had on boats. I've never really been seasick, but when we were going from Athens to, or I'm sorry, from Santorini to Milos, I got so seasick. I was like throwing up, sorry, but like in the bathroom. I did not feel well. I didn't expect it at all. It's never happened to me before. I was just sleeping, and then I woke up and I felt so sick, and it was just like a horrible experience. It was like a fast ferry, so we couldn't go outside, and it was going so fast, and I just couldn't wait to get to land. Like, oh my gosh, it was awful. But while in Milos, we found a little pharmacy, so I was able to go there and get some like travel gum, I think they call it, that you can chew, so that way you don't get so seasick. So that is one experience that I had that I will forever remember. And then after Milos, we took a ferry ride back to Athens. This ferry, however, was a lot bigger, so it was not the fast ferry, so I did not get seasick on this ferry, thank God. And on this one, since it was big, we could also go outside and be inside and stuff like that, so I felt completely fine. So after that, we went to Athens to stay with family. For Athens, if you're traveling, I highly recommend still visiting Athens for at least a couple of days just to go and see the Acropolis. That was a beautiful experience. One of my favorite things about the trip was seeing the Acropolis. It was just so incredible. Like, the history and just seeing it in real life is to me personally, I absolutely loved it, and I just love visiting museums and learning about the history of the city and stuff like that. So if you are in Athens, I highly recommend going and seeing the Acropolis and also the Acropolis Museum that they opened up. That was really, really interesting as well. And there are also a lot of hidden spots in Athens, which again, I was lucky enough to see those, the beautiful view of all of Athens and stuff like that. We went and saw, and I, of course, if I was just visiting by myself, with someone who doesn't know about the city, I wouldn't see all of this, but because I had him, we were able to see different areas which were so beautiful, really seeing the city. It was really, really cool. But overall, I just really recommend splitting up your trip in just a few different stays, like in one island, another island, and then a couple of days in Athens in the end, maybe right before you're about to leave to go home, because you can just get to the airport in Athens and then fly home. But a ferry is a good transportation to think about. However, when we went from Athens to Santorini, we did take the plane. It was just like a quick plane ride because there is an airport in Santorini, so that was great. But yeah, guys, so I think those are all of the tips that I have. If you have any questions at all, please leave them down in the comments below. I'll try to leave all of the information also in the description box, including the Airbnb where we stayed and things like that. And if I have any more leftover vlog footage from our trip, I'm going to include it now so I can just share a little bit more of my vacation with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.